Hey everyone, welcome back with another session of geography. I hope you all are doing well. So we'll continue the same chapter, that is India natural vegetation and wildlife. Now children, in the previous session we have discussed about the reckless actions of humans like hunting, poaching and cutting of forest have put the life of several species in danger. The loss of natural habitat has resulted in the decline of the population of some species. Now, in order to protect them, the government of India has taken different initiatives. Now, one by one, we will discuss all this. So, today, our topic of discussion, that is conservation of wildlife. Now, what's this conservation of wildlife? Now, wild conservation is the preservation and protection of animals, plants, and their habitats. And by conserving wildlife, we are ensuring that future generations can enjoy our natural world and the incredible species that live within it. Now, if you see, in the year 1972, the Indian Wildlife Protection Act was implemented for the protection of animals, and it also made hunting a punishable offense. Now, along with all this, it also had different things like, if you see here, the Wildlife Act provides for state wildlife advisory boards, regulations for hunting wild animals and birds, established of sanctuaries and national parks, regulations for trade in wildlife, animal products, and judiciously imposed penalties for violating the Act. Along with all this, harmful endangered species listed in Schedule 1 of the Act is prohibited throughout India. And for all these, wildlife wardens and their staff, they administer the Act. Now, if you see, for examples, long-tailed macaw, Nilgiri langur, red panda, Kashmir stag, black buck, great Indian bustard, snow leopard, and Indian hornbill, these are a few endangered species that need to be protected. And for these, a number of national parks, bird and wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves have been set up in many states to protect and provide them a natural habitat. Now children, there are total 89 national parks, 499 wildlife sanctuaries, and 18 biosphere reserves in India. Along with all these, to prevent the extinction of species, various projects have been initiated by the Indian government, such as Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Indian Rhino Vision 2020, Crocodile Conservation Project, Sea Turtle Project, Vulture Conservation Project, Project Great Indian Bustard, all these. So different efforts have been taken to protect the fast disappearing species. And children, there are 27 tiger reserves in India. And India is the only country that has both tigers and lions. Now, if you see one by one, first we have, that is the national parks in India. Now, what is a national park? A national park is a reserved area of land owned by the government. So basically a national park is owned by the government, where activities such as grazing, forestry and cultivation, all these are prohibited. Nothing can be done. Now, these are strictly reserved for the protection of wildlife. And if you see, for examples, Jim Corbett in Uttarakhand, Gir Forest in Gujarat, Kaziranga in Assam, and Sundarbans in West Bengal are some prominent ones. Now, if you see Jim Corbett is named after the hunter and naturalist Jim Corbett. It's the oldest national park in India, and it's there to protect the endangered Bengal tiger along with other species. Now, Gir Forest in Gujarat, it is mostly known for Asiatic lions, chinkara, wild boar, sambar, black bucks, all these things. And Kaziranga in Assam especially is known for one-horned rhinoceros, Royal Bengal tiger, Asian elephants, wild water buffalo, swamp deer. These are the big fives of the Kaziranga. And if you see Sundarbans, it's spread across India and Bangladesh. And children, 40% area lies in India. And if we see the animals in Sundarbans, such as it's the home to threatened species like crocodile, Royal Bengal tiger, water monitor lizard, Gangetic dolphins, and olive red-leg turtle. So all these things. Okay. So next we have, that is the wildlife sanctuaries, and along with that bird sanctuary. Now what is a wildlife sanctuary? A wildlife sanctuary is a natural area reserved by the government, or it can be also a private agency. So basically these are done for the protection of a specific endangered species. Now in the wildlife sanctuaries, here some amount of human activities such as like collection of timber and minor forest products, these are all allowed. Now if you see for examples, Manas Sanctuary in Assam, Govind Sagar Sanctuary in Himachal Pradesh, Bhima Shankar Sanctuary in Maharashtra, Nagarjuna Sanctuary, Periyar Sanctuary, so Dachigam Sanctuary, all these are like the well-known sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries that we have in India. Now if you see Manas Sanctuary, it's like mostly for the Project Tiger and Elephant Reserve. And Govind Sagar Sanctuary, it's for fishes, reptiles, mammals and migratory birds. And Bhima Shankar Sanctuary, these are like for Indian giant squirrel, leopards, hyena, wild boar, and lots of other sanctuaries are there, as you can see here in the list. You can go through it. Now next we have, that is the Biosphere reserves. Now before Biosphere reserves, we have a list of these bird sanctuaries also. So these are the different bird sanctuaries we have, like Nilapattu bird sanctuaries, Kutch Bustard Sanctuary, Kuleru bird sanctuary, Uppalapadu, Bankapura, Bonar. So these are the important bird sanctuaries that we have in India. So next we have, that is the Biosphere reserves in India. Now what is this Biosphere reserve? A Biosphere reserve protects a large area of natural habitat and serves as a site of scientific research and education. And if we see for examples, like important Biosphere reserves in India, that is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, Pachmari Biosphere Reserve, Agasthamala Biosphere Reserve, all these are the important biosphere reserves that we have in India. Now, like we have Project Tiger in India for the conservation of tigers, similarly in Africa, children, to save lions, there is Project Leonard. Roughly around 20,000 lions are left in the wilderness of Africa. And if you see other things, that is, like India observes Wildlife Week in the first week of October every year with the purpose of promoting awareness about wildlife conservation. So from the week, that is from 2nd to 8th, it is the World Wildlife Week. Okay, so that's all we have in this session. I hope you have liked it. So until the next time with some different topics, bye bye.